My name is Mariluz and I'm from Spain. And I've lived and worked in environments where I was not speaking my native language, Spanish. So trust me, I've been there when you feel awkward, when you don't know what to say, or you feel like you don't sound funny. When people are speaking in a foreign language, the mistake they tend to make is that they want to sound native. And that's not really the point. Most likely, you will always have some type of accent, like I do. But the key is to sound clear and grounded, not native. In this video, I'm going to talk about some tips to sound more confident speaking in a foreign language. Tip number 1, simplicity equals fluency. When you're speaking your own language, long and complicated sentences might sound very natural. But when you're speaking in a foreign language and you're trying to process complex ideas, it can be hard and sound unnatural to use long and complex sentences. So if you're speaking English, for example, and it's not your native language, the goal is not for you to throw everything at once to whoever you're speaking to. The goal is to sound clear and be understood. So say one idea at a time and take as many pauses as you need in between. Tip number 2, use downward gaze resets. So what is this? When you're keeping eye contact with the person you're talking to and you have to complex a lot of ideas at once in a foreign language, your brain can feel fatigued and overwhelmed. If you use downward gazes, you can help your brain. So why don't you try this tool? Look at the person you're talking to, do a little downward gaze, inhale, and then continue speaking. Let me show you an example. My PhD thesis is about using prostate MRI to detect cancer. Prostate MRI is not perfect, so our research is about trying to make the tools better so that we can detect more cancers. A downward gaze can be very useful to relax your mind, relax your body, and stop any panicking from occurring. Tip number 3, focus on the meaning and the core idea, but not the specific words you're going to use. A very common problem when you're speaking in a foreign language is that you're trying to translate the sentences in your brain. So for instance, I will think, I want to say in English, voy a llegar tarde a casa. And then you start word by word like, I'm going to arrive. That can be very complicated because if there's a word you don't know how to say, then you feel stuck. So for instance, if the idea you want to say is that you don't agree with someone, you don't have to say, I disagree with you, with those exact words. You can think whatever comes easier in your mind and faster for fluency. So you can say, I don't see it the same way, or that idea doesn't sound that good to me, or I don't have the same point of view. As you can see, there are many ways to express an idea. So have that mental flexibility to adapt as you go and just use whatever words you know how to say in the foreign language. Research shows that people speaking in a foreign language work better when they're thinking of concepts and not specific words. Basically, what I mean is that literal translation can totally kill your confidence and your fluency because you're focusing on what you don't know how to say or specific words. So it's better to go with the flow and just use the tools that you have. Tip number 4, own your accent. Your accent is not a flaw. Your accent is not a weakness. Your accent is almost like an art. It gives you a unique touch. It's part of who you are. So instead of being scared or embarrassed because you have an accent, try to embrace it. When I go to America, people are so used to listening to a specific type of English that they almost tell me that they find my accent cute. And in my mind, I'm like, what do you mean cute? I sound foreign. That's not good. I want to sound American. And they're like, no, please keep your accent. It makes you unique. So basically the idea is that people are not going to trust you less because you have an accent. Instead, they will trust you less if you sound insecure. So embrace your accent and feel confident. Focus on clear pronunciation, clear enunciation, and keeping a good pace. And forget about your accent. Tip number 5 is, I think, the most important one. And it is, don't aim for perfection, aim for clarity. Communication is about telling your ideas to the person in front of you. It's about telling a story. It's about making things clear. If you're aiming to be perfect and have the perfect pace, the perfect pronunciation, the perfect building of the sentences, you're gonna feel paralyzed and you're gonna feel stuck because that's not what's gonna happen. Instead, try to make things clear. Use simple words, use pauses, use short sentences. Build your confidence up, and then you will see how you become more and more fluent. Because the truth is, I've been living in the US for many years, and my accent is not perfect, and it probably will never be. So just embrace your progress and embrace your growth with the tools that you have. So here are my final thoughts. Speaking in a foreign language is not gonna make you sound weird or make you more boring. What you have to focus on is use the tools that you have and be resourceful. It is harder and it is a challenge, but it's something that can be trained, and you will feel more and more confident using these tips as you go along. If you liked any of these tips or you have any thoughts on this topic, please let me know in the comments. I would love to see what foreign language you're trying to talk in and how you have struggled with speaking that language and overcome your struggles. And if you like expat life, communication, foreign languages, please like this video and subscribe to see more content that's coming up. See you next time.